Just looking at the numbers today of my next guest, who's played 724 singles matches in his pro career. He's won over 400. He's won 11 ITF singles titles. He's played 572 doubles matches, won 31 doubles titles. He's a two-time junior Grand Slam champion, Wimbledon, on his favourite surface, the grass, and the Australian Open. Grand Slam doubles runner-up with Max Purcell, AO 2020. Five-time runner-up on the doubles tour at ATP level. I speak of Luke Saville, who's been good enough to come on the show tonight. Luke, always good to have you on board.
Great to be back, BP. Thank you.
You okay? Just having to listen to Harry for about 3 minutes on hold there?
Yeah, it's tough to follow those shoes of Harry, but
Great, man.
no, I think when I was on doing a little bit start of the year at the Aussie, he was a regular, so
He was.
provides a very interesting insight, that's for sure.
No, I'm going to go visit him. He loves his tennis. He's up in Belmore, up there in, I think, an outer suburb of Sydney, and he's one of our great listeners, great SEN listener, and he just talks about players that I never saw play, apart from a little bit of old black and white footage. When I mention those numbers, Luke, what do you think? I mean, how do you reflect on your own journey?
It's quite interesting. Actually, when you read those out, it's I think wasn't a bad career. I've achieved quite a bit, and it's actually nice to hear the numbers. And obviously, I've been a part of it and done the journey. And sometimes you get a bit sidetracked over, I guess, some of the difficult moments of the journey. But when you look back on it, there's so many rewarding parts, and to see the numbers and the achievements I've done along the way, very fulfilling and very satisfying to hear. Those numbers. It's very, very, very good.
Where are you at in the journey?
Probably coming to the end, to be honest. The last few months I've been doing a fair bit of thinking, reflecting, and sort of feel like the fires probably just sort of start to run out, and I think I've been around the level, and I sort of know how difficult it is now to sort of break through it and sort of make it on the tour, and I just sort of feel like I probably lost that level a little bit. Spending a little more time with Dasha, traveling with her a bit more, and just sort of bringing a little different perspective, and so probably in January looking at maybe life past playing professional tennis.
I mean, you're so young in life terms, but in sporting terms, we know that anyone who takes up tennis starts the journey extremely young. So this is something you've been, doing for such a long time.
Yeah, it is. It's been sort of over 2/3 of my life. So I've been, like I said, been doing some reflecting, a few sort of public speaking appearances about my journey, and it's been a very humbling experience, really taking it back to when I was 5 years old and how I sort of started playing tennis, and having two older siblings, older brother, older sister, and sort of jumping on the trampoline, waiting for my turn to sort of sub into the family doubles matches on our home court, and I think that really helped me to sort of hit and play against my older siblings, and then obviously relocating to Adelaide when I was 10, and then to the AIS in Canberra when I was 16. So it's been an amazing journey. Tennis obviously has been my whole life, and so happy and humbling with all the experiences it's brought me.
I mean, there are so many ways to measure success. I mean, the more I'm in this sport, Luke, I mean, the reality is, in a tough global sport, that not everyone's going to be at the absolute pointy end. I mean, we talk about this generation of men, three absolute superstars. Their numbers may never, ever be replicated ever again, and what one man did at one particular event in the Dale at the French Open. And then there's this huge ecosystem of players who are all out there running their own business on the road, trying to win more matches than they lose and trying to earn more money than what they spend. So when you sort of just talk about it in that sense,
Yep.
There's a lot of people who have been successful in tennis without reaching the absolute pointy end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I'm very happy with the success I've had on the doubles tour in my juniors. Probably the one thing I would have loved is to have broken into the singles a little more. I had a bit of a run there
Yep.
in my early years straight out of juniors and couldn't quite break through. And probably a various amount of reasons, to be honest. We probably don't have enough time right now, but yeah, I look back on it and representing Australia in the Olympics and Davis Cup. They're probably my number two, one and two things with my biggest achievements. And yeah, just basically the amount of places and people I've met. I keep coming back to this. I feel like I've, you read those numbers out at the very beginning. A lot of achievements, which I'm very proud of, but it's the experiences and really the relationships and connections that I'll have for the rest of my life. They're the true things I sort of value that I've gotten out of my career.
So is it putting down the racket totally, or will the competitive juices still flow to maybe play a little bit of state grade or pennant, or just have a hit in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I still want to stay involved in tennis. I'm not sure what I'll do, for a career post playing, but yeah, I think it'll be definitely based in Melbourne. Love the state grade, play for Royal South Yarra. Love that club and the long-standing relationship my wife Dasha and I have with them. So keep playing state grade, Premier League. Maybe some other sort of local matches like that. Still want to stay fit by playing tennis. Still absolutely love the sport, but have just sort of, gone out of love with probably the travelling component and playing at a pro level. But so happy with everything tennis has really given me, basically throughout my life.
Well, I think you did some stuff with us on SEN many, many years ago as a much younger man, Luke. And I think one of the things we noticed, your IQ and your knowledge of the sport is just superb, the way you can read a game and see a game unfold. So no doubt. And I think, you'd like to do, some sort of media work, coaching, playing, mentoring, speaking, as you said. I mean, I think that many doors will open. So we look forward to you, certainly being on the other side of the fence in some way, shape or form with, all the knowledge that you've gained, travelling around the world. I mean, tennis players they're pretty special, aren't they? I mean, I had said this often on the show that they would make the best employees because you come out pretty hard and pretty resilient. If you're not winning the tournament, you're losing every week. I mean, you sort of got to have a certain type of character, don't you, to play professional sport in general, really.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I think people ask sort of what could I do outside of tennis, and I can't really give them an answer. But one thing I do know is there probably will be some sort of avenue just because of the life experiences, the adversity you've got to face as a tennis player. You're basically your own sort of agent, manager, travel agent, really everything. You've got to handle your flights, accommodation, visas. And obviously if you're not winning the tournament, probably losing every single week. So having to deal with that as well and going through that disappointment and then having to get yourself up for playing the next event probably after a lengthy travel day as well. So I think it's whatever sort of avenue it is, whether it's coaching, which will probably be the short-term option, to be honest, but I could definitely see myself venturing out of tennis and doing something sort of management-esque down the road. And I think I'd be very excited to sort of dip my toe in quite a few areas. But I definitely feel like tennis in the short term is probably where I can probably use my time wisely and get the best return.
Or maybe you could follow the member for Nepean into politics.
Yeah, well, I don't think Grothy would have picked that path. So, I'm not sure. I don't think I can do as good a job as Grothy. But, definitely would have picked that one, that's for sure.
No, I'll tell you what, next Premier of Victoria, I'm putting my house on it for sure. He's just sending a few little shockwaves through the Victorian Parliament. Luke, always great to catch up with you. We'll no doubt learn more about what the end does look like around the Australian Summer of Tennis, and look forward to certainly talking some tennis with you in some way, shape, or form in 2025. And you should be really proud of what you've achieved. It's a good set of numbers there. You've put everything into your sport, and your beautiful wife Daria. Of course, we hope there's some still great tennis ahead of her as well as she looks to climb back up the rankings in 2025. So always nice to chat to you.
Thanks a lot, BP, and really enjoying all your coverage through the Australian tennis. Really appreciate it, mate.
Luke Saville joining us on the show.